smell of roasting turkey, cranberry sauce, and an overheating video game console. Nothing finer at this time of year. We're back from our 1 week break and ready to dig into the fine delicacy that is Killzone 2 single player. It's time to get back to work, like the hard-working people we are. And on today's show, we're going to head down to Job Island and roll up our sleeves for help wanted. We've got some leftovers from Thanksgiving to share with you, and of course, all the tasty news you're craving. Wait, who said you could stop working? Get back to work! We've got a world to save this week, on the spot!
Hello everyone, welcome to On the Spot. Welcome back from vacation. We all had a great week off last week, eating and watching football and of course playing a ton of games. But we're back here on a Thursday for GameSpot's live weekly game show where we talk about video games, have a good time. Kristen Riley's here. Kristen, how was your break? How was your time off?
Oh, it was great. Having a week off is always really nice to do. It actually gives you some time to get some games in,
yes,
around the work schedule. And I'm pretty sure I still have my food baby from eating so much. Yeah,
well, we're going to actually, a little bit later in the show, we're going to find out what some of the GameSpot editors did on their break. Of course, obviously involving video games. Shanker's going to be on. He's going to give us some tips for Warhammer, which he has been playing exclusively. He has stopped playing sports games entirely, but we have a really great show for you today. Right now, we want to get to lead off the show with a little tape segment. For the past few weeks, all of the GameSpot editors have been getting together, talking about all of the games that come out this year, trying to decide in a really great year what is the best game of the year. It's been a really long process, and we want to take you guys a little bit behind the scenes for a look at what the deliberations behind the Game of the Year awards at GameSpot look like. So let's go to that tape right now.
The GameSpot awards are always a really big thing for the staff towards the end of the year. Because you plow through that heavy review season and then you've got these awards. And we're always really excited to kind of, argue amongst each other.
But I think that's also a love it or hate it kind of.
Yeah. What's totally crazy about 2008 was that I think after 2007 we all kind of figured, well, you know what, the game industry is probably tired because there were so many amazing games in 2007, but it turns out 2008 was a very, very awesome year as well.
I've been talking to some of the guys and I think most of us have pretty much decided this is like the best year ever. Like we thought last year couldn't be topped in terms of just the games coming out, and prior to that I think it was like 1998 or something is like the year that everybody talks about, and I think 2008 has got it beat.
Yeah, it has to be on the list.
Okay,
It has to win.
Iconic.
Yeah, it is the iconic character, video game character of 2008. None of these others will be remembered.
I mean, so before we go and have our deliberations, we're presented with a list, and we have an opportunity to add stuff to that list or take it off.
Are we calling out like a specific pack, or should we be talking about like the games that have had like the best post-release?
It should be a specific.
We should say a specific.
It should be a specific thing.
We'll definitely be picking out all the best games in all the genres and on all the platforms, and I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't easy. There was definitely a lot of competition. Some genres, some platforms were very, very hard to decide because it was just that kind of year.
I don't think a lot of people realize just like the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into these deliberations we've been having over the past couple of weeks.
I think a lot of people think that we just kind of walk into a room and we're just like, so, game of the year, how about just this one, and then we just throw a name out there and then everyone just goes, yeah, okay, and that's it. I think people seriously just don't understand what kind of deliberations go into this. I mean, we've met for like 5 hours at a time, like 6 times so far, and I think we still have a couple things to shore up. So there's a lot of work that goes into this.
Just picture that for every category we had anywhere from 10 to 15 potentials that we then had to whittle down to nominees that we then had to settle on for a winner. And that is no quick process.
You have to have a unanimous decision that everybody feels comfortable with that game as a winner. So now that I know how the process works, it gives it so much more gravity than I ever realized before.
But I think artistically,
that's more artistic.
Yeah, I think when people see our nominees and ultimately our winners, I think some of the stuff is fairly predictable, I think. There are definitely some surprises in there, maybe even a couple of games that you haven't heard of, even if you read GameSpot every day. Like there are 1 or 2 games in there that you might have missed, and I'd be very surprised if there wasn't at least one game that is missing from the final kind of top 10 that you think absolutely had to have been there, and it isn't.
There were a lot of fantastic games. A lot of the really big names that you probably expect to see in the awards are going to make an appearance, but are they all going to win? Tune in and find out.
And there you go. Our Game of the Year awards are upcoming, and I can tell you from personal experience, having done this several times in a row, it's a lot of work, but it's my favorite time of year when all the GameSpot editors get together and do nothing but talk about games. Before we move on with the show, we want to go to our news guy, Tor Thorson, and find out what's happening in the world of gaming news. Tor, you're standing by. What's going on these days?
You guys had a Game of the Year meeting without me?
Yep, we sure did.
Oh, news, right. Anyway, so here's the top 5 news stories of the week. It was a pretty good week for news. At number 5, we've got the Xbox 360 arcade memory. For those of you people that know, the Xbox 360 arcade doesn't have a hard drive, right? So how are you going to download have enough memory when you download the new Xbox Live experience? Well, normally they would ship it with this little external memory unit, but soon that is no longer going to be the case. They have confirmed to us that they're actually moving it inside the console itself. So it's going to have built-in memory for 256 megs. Now that's good in some respects because it's inside the box. It's bad in some respects because no more free memory unit. And then moving on to number 4. Now, a bunch of retailers got together. That's the Entertainment Merchants Association, and they're all the guys who sell games in the country. And they advanced a proposal that's very Orwellian when you look at it, all right? They want to ship games in an inactive state with this stuff called benefit denial technology. So basically, they're lobbying, kind of manufacturers to make it so when you sell a game at a register, it can't be activated until it's sold. Now, this is their grand plan, but one small thing, read-only media. So it's probably not going to happen. So those of you out there panicking, relax. Your games are going to ship okay. Coming in at number 3 was Uncharted 2 was announced this week. This is from our good friends over at Naughty Dog, and they're going to announce to the full reveal in the Spike Video Game Awards, and I think it's next Sunday, or next Saturday actually, the 13th. Anyway, so this is really exciting. This is coming out. This is one of the top games on the PlayStation 3. It sold 2 million units worldwide, over 500,000 in the US, which is great. It's considered it's on the 3rd place console, so that's a really, really impressive feat. This time around, Nathan Drake is going to be somewhere Arctic. We don't know where it is exactly, but it will involve, according to the new copy of Game Informer, let me see here, something about Marco Polo and the court of Kublai Khan. So expect some hot Central Asian action right down there. All right. Coming in at number 2, Atari held a big old event this week, and guess what? They're publishing Ghostbusters next June. So for those of you who didn't get your were worried you were going to be your Peter Venkman on, it's going to come out next June. Atari came out swinging at this event. They had Ghostbusters coming out, then they teased the possibility of the fact they're going to make a new Baldur's Gate game. Now, Baldur's Gate is one of the most respected role-playing games of all time. And the fact they're making a new one is a major, as early Christmas gift for us role-playing gamers, dorks like me. Anyway, we have no idea when that's coming out, but we're hoping for the best, and we'll see more about that later. And last but not least, in Atari news, they're going to publish Sam & Max Season 2 on the PC and Wii, which is great news, because before, it was kind of wondering what's happening with it, because, GameTap was our main distributor for the PC. But now they've got a full-fledged, publisher support, so our old friends Sam & Max aren't going away anytime soon. And last but not least, the biggest news story of the week is, well, not exactly a news story, but it's, Activision had an event in New York that wasn't supposed to really be, shared with the public, but hey, our good friend N-Guy Kroll over at Newsweek decided, I'll Twitter it. And out of that, they basically confirmed that Call of Duty 6 will be Modern Combat 2, and it's coming out next fall. So that's great news for all you Call of Duty Addicts fans out there. You'll be able to get your frag on in style with an Infinity Ward developed game next fall. Not really surprising, but hey, it's cool. Also, not surprising, but very cool, is the fact that they basically confirmed the next Tony Hawk game, you're not going to be playing it with a controller in your hands. Now, what does that mean? That means that the rumors of a skateboard peripheral are probably true. So we get some old school 720 action. Remember that game in the arcades, huh?
Yes.
That you can destroy that in your own living room, hopefully coming up soon next fall. And we're not sure who's developing it. There's a pretty good chance this new developer called Robomoto in Chicago is doing it. They're working on a big IP for Activision that's well known, so they're probably the most likely suspect. And that's your top 5 game news stories of the week. I'm your host, Tor Thorson.
Tor, can I ask you some questions about the news?
Oh, all right.
I have one question. I want to know, is Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty game, going to actually be called Call of Duty 6 Modern Combat 2?
No, we don't know about the title yet, but they did say it was Modern Combat 2.
Okay.
So it's going to be definitely Modern Combat, kiss the Japanese, Nazis. all those guys goodbye. Sorry, no more. We can't storm Berlin again, can we? I mean, how many times can you burn this, poor city into the dirt?
That's right. And actually, an Atari question as well.
Sure.
I think they mentioned a new Test Drive Unlimited game too.
Yes, they did. They teased that as well. And they're also bringing back Ready to Rumble on the Wii. So it's also lots of good stuff coming out of Atari. Atari, who we basically left for dead a while ago, is coming back strong.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tor. We appreciate that. Right now, we're joined by some friends from Logitech. We've got Vincent and Tate here, who are showing off a really hot guitar. Vincent, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. Tell me about this guitar. Is this on the market yet, or it's coming soon?
It's coming soon. It should be available on the 18th of December.
Okay, right around the corner.
Right around the corner. This is a Premier Edition guitar. It is designed for PlayStation 3. It is licensed by Red Octane.
Okay.
And we've also licensed it with Sony.
All right. And Tate, you are playing right now Guitar Hero World Tour, right?
Right.
And what song are we playing?
Beat It by Michael Jackson.
Naturally. All right, so tell us about the development of this guitar. I don't know if people can see the guitar. We should get a close-up shot if not. But that's real wood. That's not. There's very little plastic, if any.
Very little plastic on the guitar. The guitar itself has a maple wood neck, has rosewood fingerboard, has actual metal tuning pegs, has metal fret markers. The pick guard on it is where the strum bar is. We put a lot of work into the strum bar because we wanted to lower the noise floor of the guitar. So we worked real hard on reducing the amount of noise that comes out of the strum bar, out of the buttons. Most people, as you know, when they're playing the guitar, or when they're playing these games, they hear a lot of the guitar.
Right.
So we want it to be more about the music than it is about the guitar.
And I can confirm right now, she's playing Beat It, and you can hear it, but it's much quieter than you would expect from a typical typical Guitar Hero guitar. So we should say that in terms of features, this has the sort of slide neck that you find on the slide feature.
It has a touch-sensitive neck slider.
Okay.
Which is a new unique feature to Guitar Hero World Tour.
Okay.
So that's used for special portions of the game. It can also be used for tapping. For tapping.
Right.
Which is actually a great feature. You can do your best Eddie Van Halen kind of impression.
That's right. Right before the show, you were telling me about the reason to go not full size with this guitar. Can you explain that?
So we were talking when we were in development of this. There was a big question whether or not we should go full size guitar or if we should go 3/4 size. So we decided to go 3/4 size because we didn't want the player who had been spending all this time on the PlayStation 2 versions of the games and the previous Xbox versions of the Xbox 360 versions of the games to have to relearn the placement of their arm. So what we want them to do is they want them to be comfortable with this guitar, but also take advantage and complete the experience with this guitar because it is completely authentic material.
And it feels, obviously it's heavier than your typical Guitar Hero guitar. Were you worried at all about weight?
We were concerned about weight, but that's part of completing the experience. Everybody's got a little bit of a rock star in them,
right?
And we want them to experience that full experience.
And Tate, you're obviously an experienced Guitar Hero player.
Not really, but I am doing.
You're doing well. You got through the solo. That's not bad. How does it, from a player standpoint, how does it feel to you?
It feels pretty good. It feels quiet. It
Very
doesn't make
quiet.
that clackety sound, and I think it's really easy to use. Just the whole feel of it is lighter than I expected, so I like it.
And how does the wireless work? There's wireless built into the guitar. Do you need anything else to have it work?
So there's a USB dongle, which is consistent with all the guitars that you'll find out on the market today. So all the wireless is inside. It's behind the pick guard. So there's no wires or nothing hanging off the guitar at all. It feels just like a real guitar.
Kristen, do we have any questions for Vincent?
We do. One of the more dominant questions, I suppose, comes from why do you guys all have hard names? Tensley Tavares, sorry, from New York. He wants to know how reliable it is, and someone else also wants to know if the neck of the guitar comes off like the Les Paul.
So the neck of the guitar does not come off. It is shipped as a complete guitar, just like you would buy a real guitar. And what was the first question?
What was the first question, Kristen?
Reliability. How reliable is it? Is it going to drop the signal? Are you going to kind of do all the frets? Always. What's the word I'm looking for?
Do they work?
Pretty much doesn't work.
I'm going to say yes, definitely. I mean, as with all Logitech products, we want the product itself to kind of be invisible to your experience with the game. So that experience is contingent upon you being able to get into the game, play the game the way you want, and not messing up and saying, well, it's this darn controller, right? And that's not what we're about.
And obviously, this being made out of quality materials, how much people are going to be paying for this?
So this is going to retail for $249.99.
Cool. All right. So better work, right?
Yeah, it will definitely work.
All right. And I guess a question that is commonly asked, and I know you hear it all the time, but we're playing it with Guitar Hero right now. What's the deal with compatibility with Rock Band?
So most of that is actually being handled by the console manufacturers, so by Sony, by Microsoft, and by Nintendo. And I know a lot of the users out there are on the net and they're looking around, and they've probably heard a number of the comments on how these guitars and how the console manufacturers want the guitars to work cross product. This product itself is licensed by Red Octane, so it's designed to work with Guitar Hero.
Okay.
And it's licensed with Sony, so it's designed to work with the PlayStation 3.
Okay. Well, I guess the only remaining. Well, actually, I think Kristen's got a question. What do we got, Kristen?
I do. I'm trying to find out who sent it, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, yeah, I did. It's from N. Dot from the UK. He wants to know, will this guitar work for all Guitar Hero games?
So this guitar is designed to work on the PlayStation 3. So it will work with all the games that will work on PlayStation 3. Because of the USB dongle, you can connect it to the PlayStation 2 and it will work on Guitar Hero World Tour only on the PlayStation 2, because the previous games were controller port games.
Yep, that's right. All right, so how do people get a hold of this if they want one to buy for their loved ones?
It's available on, in the United States, it's available on Amazon.com, it's available on Logitech.com. And it'll be available at GameStop, I believe.
And coming out in just a couple weeks, right?
Yes, that's correct. In the UK, I believe it's on Amazon.com in the UK also.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much for bringing it by. And Tate, thanks so much for playing it. Well done. And now we are going to check out another edition of our Gamers Gift Bag, this time looking at some more really cool treats you can buy some of your loved ones that are gaming related. Check it out.
Gamers love their games, but gamers also love to show off their love for games by displaying relics from them. The gamer on your list this year will go crazy for some of these gifts. Sackboy made a huge impression on the world at E3 2 years ago with the debut of Little Big Planet. With his big smile, button eyes, and zipper front, who can help but fall in love with him? This is one gift that gets instant karma points because you can't buy him. That's right, you have to make Sackboy by hand. All you need is a needle, some thread, burlap, stuffing, buttons, and a zipper to make your Sackboy. For the Fallout fan on your list that was unable to get their hands on a Pip-Boy 3000 and desperately wants one, have no fear. The Fallout 3 Survival Editions are still available for purchase. At $130, it's a little spendy, but included, you not only get the game, you also get the Pip-Boy 3000, a Fallout 3 lunchbox, as well as a 5-inch Vault-Tec bobblehead. If $130 is stretching it, and all you really want is the lunchbox and bobblehead, the Fallout 3 Collector's Edition is still available for $80. No Gears of War collection is complete without this Gears of War 2 replica Lancer, including blood splatter, folding side handles, and a removable clip to enact active reload. This is the ultimate collector's piece with a price tag of $140. Combine trigger-activated chainsaw sound with vibration, and you'll have locusts running for their holes at top speed. Hats are always in style, and gaming hats are no exception, or may be the exception. For the Pac-Man obsessed fan in your life, this hat can be found for around $30 at clubnamco.com. If there's one thing every gamer needs more of, it's controllers. Be it additional PlayStation 3 controllers or Xbox 360 controllers, it's a gift that will always be appreciated. Wii owners that are sick of constantly changing batteries will be especially excited for Nyko's Wii Charge Station this holiday season. This charging station can charge 2 Wiimotes at a time, uses rechargeable battery packs that are included, as well as the rubberized battery covers. At $29.99, it's a great way to keep the game going. If you have a racing fan on your list, there's a plethora of racing wheels from which to choose, like this Porsche wheel. Or bring the arcade experience into your living room with the Xbox 360 Fighting Stick EX2 this holiday season. Priced slightly above regular controllers, this is a must-have for any fan of fighting games. PlayStation 3 owners that use their web browsers will love a wireless keyboard this year. Available in a variety of colors, makes, and models, you'll be able to find one that will please the most demanding of gamers. Starting at $30 and up, finding one to fit your budget should be easy. No matter what kind of games your recipient enjoys, bundle one of our gifts with a copy of the game and you'll have an instant hit on your hands. Be sure to check back at GameSpot.com for all your holiday needs, brought to you by GameStop.
Yep, there's another edition of the Gamer's Gift Guide. Right now we're going to talk with Sean McInnes, and we're going to bring back Killzone 2 to this show.
Exactly.
We had it right before the break, looking at multiplayer. Right now it's single player, right?
Single player, definitely.
Cool. Well, let's dive right in.
All right. So
people are familiar with this game.
Everybody knows about Killzone. We just put up a big preview today where I talked about the first 6 chapters of the game. Right now we're going to look at the 5th chapter. It's called Solomon Bridge. Okay. And so why don't we jump into it right now?
Yeah, let's jump in. So this is the 5th chapter of the game. What is happening in terms of the plot?
So right now the ISA, that's basically the good guys, the humans, they are invading the Helghast home planet, and we're charging towards the palace, basically, like sort of like their headquarters. And this is the bridge leading up to it. You can see the towers up there. One of the real central features of Killzone 2 is this cover system, where you just hold L2 and you'll pop behind cover like this. You can peek over and look down your little green dot sight right there. And what sort of makes it unique is that when you're in cover, you remain in the first-person perspective, which is not all that common in first-person shooters. Usually it pops you out a bit. So you can see half of my field of vision is obscured, so it kind of makes it a little bit tricky, and you have to really act quickly when you pop out of cover like that.
So when you're behind cover, it seems like you're still a little bit exposed. Can you be shot?
Yeah, you can definitely get shot, especially when you're peeking over like this. It makes it a lot trickier than a game like Gears of War, a third-person shooter, where you can see the entire field of vision because the camera's pulled back. In this one, it's a little bit tighter. You can only see a fraction of the enemies on screen. It makes it a bit more visceral when you're sort of just popping out to shoot guys. And as you can tell, this is a very, very, very pretty game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the prettiest console game I've ever seen. And it's not just like technically brilliant, it's also really artistic too. Like you see those clouds up there and that lighting in the sky, and it all just looks really good. It's not like just really good textures and all that.
And it's obvious that the frame rate is holding up even though there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. The frame rate holds up. The only time when you really see a hiccup in the frame rate is actually when it's doing the autosave. And that's just like a half second. So
you're basically trying to get to the other side of this bridge?
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the bigger set pieces in the game, this bridge battle here. Other times you'll be running through corridors and narrow alleyways and stuff like that. This is definitely one of the bigger battles.
Shot that dude's head off.
I shot him right in the
His helmet off and then his head.
Yeah.
One at a time, baby.
That happens a lot. You'll shoot a guy in the head and he won't die because those Helghast helmets are pretty thick. So you gotta keep the job going. It's a tough game. I died a lot. You saw me playing this week, and I was dying pretty frequently.
So speaking of that, is there a variable difficulty level in this preview build?
Yeah, there's 4 difficulty options. This preview build only has the standard one available, but it looks like there's an easy one, a normal one, and 2 advanced ones from what I can tell.
Okay. But they're just trying to keep it real for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I'll show you my my sidearm here. This is a pistol.
It's like a Magnum, man.
Yeah, it looks like a Magnum, and it definitely packs a kick. I don't know if you guys can hear that at home, but that is a heavy gun right there, and it's infinite ammo too. You'll never run out. You just have to reload.
Well, Kristen, I know we probably got a ton of questions on Killzone 2.
We do, and one that comes from our friend Santiago Mendoza from Madeira. He wants to know, how is the AI?
The AI is good. One of the big problems with Killzone 1 is that the AI was not that spectacular, but this one is good. Those guys are tenacious. They're going to use cover just as much as you do, and they'll even blind fire. There's this really cool thing, I don't know if we caught any of that in the video, where they're going to hide behind cover, lift both their hands over their head, and just sort of like shoot you like this, which is really cool. And those guys are tricky. The AI is definitely good.
And how does that apply for your allies? Are they pretty smart as well?
They're pretty smart. I mean, occasionally they will run in front of you while you're shooting. Earlier today, I saw a guy throw a grenade into a fence that was 6 inches in front of him.
Well, maybe that fence had made him mad.
Yeah, I mean, the fence might have said something offensive. We don't know. I don't know the circumstances.
Offensive.
Yeah. Oh, no pun intended. I swear. But yeah, AI is definitely good, and these are tough battles. It's a challenging shooter, for sure.
That's good to hear.
So right now we're sort of running through the slums underneath the bridge.
Like a little shanty town, huh?
Yeah. There's a really good variety to the levels that you'll see. It's not all this urban stuff. In the 6th chapter, you go to this mining village, which looks sort of like a Tatooine Star Wars area, where it's sort of like real dusty, brown, windswept area.
I see a lot of these Helghast soldiers. They're a pretty common enemy. There he is, blind fire.
Doing the blind fire. Shot his helmet off.
Any other special kind of enemies you can tell us about that you've encountered?
Yeah, there's the heavy enemies, which are like the super armored guys, and you have to shoot the gas tanks on the back. There's a boss fight that's really cool. It's this sort of like flying mech. It really feels like a Metal Gear Solid boss fight. And you'll see a few other types of Hellghast, other guys that are a bit more quick and nimble than these sort of foot soldier grunts right here. There's a pretty good variety to the enemies, although these guys with the glowing red eyes definitely make up the bulk of the people you're shooting in the face.
Kristen, how about some more questions?
Oh, I'm trying. They're coming like mad. Troy from Anaheim wants to know, or he says, I saw when Sean threw the grenade there was a slight curve. Does the wind affect the lob in any way?
Not that I know of, but I will point out one of the coolest things about the grenades is that they have this little LED light on them to let you know how cooked they are.
Oh, wow.
So it'll flash red, and that's when you know you need to get that thing the hell out of your hand right away.
We see you with like a pretty standard assault rifle here. Any other weapons of note?
Yeah, there's a flamethrower in the game, there's rocket launchers, there's a really cool sniper rifle. None of it is anything that you haven't really seen before, but they all feel really good, and the lighting off these guns is just incredible.
Yeah.
You'll walk through like a little orange light, and it'll reflect off the gun, and it looks really awesome.
Yeah, they've really done a good job on just creating an atmosphere here.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
You guys went over this already or not? But everyone's kind of asking about the controls. What's mapped to what?
Okay, so it's
that's
I knew that was going to
dead.
happen. I knew I made it so far without dying. It feels a lot like Resistance 2.
Okay.
It's your basic dual stick first-person shooter. L2 is the cover system. If you're not near a wall, it's just going to crouch for you like Resistance. But if you get near here, it'll snap to cover. And if you're in a doorway, you can sort of like peek out left and right in the doorway. R1 is fire. L1 is your melee attack. R2 is a grenade. You hold it to cook it just like this, and I'll blow those guys up. Sorry, buddies.
Take that.
Yeah. Triangle switches your guns like Call of Duty. Square reloads like Call of Duty. Circle is your all-purpose like activate button. There's a few different like sequences when you need to like open a door or whatever. You press circle.
Did I see some destruction there?
Yeah. There's some surface penetration with the cover system, and you can blow up some barrels, but it's not like really all that destructive.
Okay.
It's mostly like surface materials. You can fire through them, and of course you've got the obligatory red barrels.
Naturally, those things go boom.
Yeah.
So when you're behind cover, can you be shot through it? Can a cover be completely destroyed?
Yeah, man,
this is a tough
I got
part.
to a tough part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see bullet holes in the cover right near you, and if it's bags of sand, they'll slowly erode as they get shot up more.
One more question about the weapons. Can you only carry 2 weapons?
Yeah, it's 2 at once.
Okay.
You've got your main gun and your sidearm. Oh, and also you've got a sweet knife right here, but I almost feel like that's just like guerrilla taunting me because I never get the chance to use it because the bad guys are just like
too far away.
Yeah, they're so far away and they're so quick to kill you.
Like that.
If I try to run up to them and slash them with a knife, I would die like I've done in the last 3 minutes about 5 times.
You mentioned an autosave system. It seems like it saves a lot, so you're not starting too far back when you die.
Checkpoints are pretty generous.
Yeah.
There's no manual save. It's all automated. But yeah, it's a pretty friendly autosave system.
Cool. Kristen, what have you got?
No beta keys, everyone. So stop asking that one, please. Killian Hughes from St. John wants to know if there's any weapons that you can dual wield.
Not that I've been able to find, but that's only the first 6 chapters. There's a bunch more in the game.
So let's talk about the length of the game so far. This is the 5th chapter you've played. About how many hours is this into the game?
I'd say this is about 3 or 4 hours into the game. It's pretty speculative, but I went in the menu and looked at the stats. I did the first 6 chapters of the game. It took me about 4 hours, and it said my playtime was 40%. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, but that's what the stat screen tells me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the math checks out, that would be about a 10-hour campaign, which is...
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, pretty good.
And it's coming pretty soon, right?
Yeah, release is February, so right around the corner.
Well, it's been a long wait for Killzone 2, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's been worth the wait, because I've had a lot of fun with this.
All right, and Sean put up a preview today for Killzone 2, so if you want to learn more about the game, you can check that out on GameSpot.com. Right now, we want to get to something that we've been waiting to show for a while. Back at TGS, we got to do a whole bunch of good stuff at the Tokyo Game Show, including go visit the folks at 2's. Of course, they're the makers of the Smackdown vs. Raw 2009 game. The game is out now, but we wanted to show you some interviews that we did on that game real quick, because that's a great bunch of people. So let's go to the interviews right now from 2's in Tokyo. Hey everyone, we're here at Yokohama at 2's studio where they developed this Smackdown vs. Raw series. We're talking with Taku Chihaya, who is the creative director with 2's, talking about Smackdown vs. Raw 2009. Taku, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Let's start with Smackdown vs. Raw 2009. Let's start with the previous game. What lessons did you learn from 2008 that you wanted to apply for this year's game?
The Smackdown series, for the past few years, we've been really concerned with trying to increase the quality of our models, increase the quality of the look of the game, but what we've sacrificed by doing that is we've sacrificed load times, and the load times in the Smackdown series have always been so long because we've been trying to push the limit on graphic quality. This year we were able to take some time, take an overall look at how our memory was broken up throughout various areas of the game, restructure how we allocated memory throughout the game, and improve load times in various areas across the game.
Following up on that, one of the key features in next-gen, a lot of next-gen sports games, is the concept of branching animations, where it's shorter animations that split off in varying directions depending on the input of the user, giving the player more control over what's happening on the field or the ice or wherever. Is that something that 2's has considered with Smackdown, maybe shortening animations and giving more control for breaking out and into new animations, and how does that tie into this blending animation that you were talking about?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said, especially in the case of a lot of action games. I think the response time, if it's quick and short enough, it really allows the user to feel like they are part of the action. In a pro wrestling game, compared to a lot of traditional fighting games, pro wrestling games tend to feel much slower. So that is definitely a challenge for us to reflect that feeling of involvement, so the user feels that they're actually part of the action, but also staying true to the actual pace of a pro wrestling game.
And I would imagine you have moves that go in a certain sequence as well. You know, characters have their finishers and their moves that people expect to see. So that seems to me like it would be a challenge towards, you know, making that happen in the game correctly while still giving the user the feel as if they have control over what's happening.
Yeah, it's exactly as you point out. It is one of our biggest challenges, but also maybe one of the areas that we can develop our creative finisher feature further in the future. When we were working on it this year, by putting in the choices that the user can make there, we were thinking the same thing about branching and wondering if maybe we could in the future take this to a real-time type of feature where the user, by inputting branching into a creative finisher, could be making a series of choices in the game in real time, in the same way that a superstar would in real life. That if you pick up this guy, okay, what am I going to do to him next, and be able to do it.
Let's talk about a few other features. A couple of new features that we know about are the highlight editor and the roster editor. What can you tell us about those? What can people expect in 2009?
The highlight reel feature this year that we're implementing for the first time enables players to take things that they've made in every other area of the game. For example, the Create a Superstar, the model that you've created in the Create a Superstar function. You can record a match with your Create a Superstar and edit a highlight reel showing your created superstar. Your creative finisher that we just talked about, you can create a highlight reel that shows the creative finisher that you made, perhaps with your creative superstar inside of it. You can then take that highlight reel and upload it online, show all of your friends, and brag basically about how you are customizing the Smackdown game. How are you playing Smackdown? And show that online. So I think that this is a really cool feature that brings together a lot of the various different modes into our game, and that our users are really going to have a lot of fun with. I think a roster editor feature is something that every sports game must have. I myself personally am a fan of baseball games, and I know as soon as I buy the latest baseball game, I want to go in and make sure that my roster is always current to what's going on in the leagues right now. I think this goes for most sports games fans across the board. So the roster editor this year will allow our game, the fans of our game, to update the roster so that it's current right away from the minute they buy it. The other exciting feature with it is that we'll have an online roster editor update available to our users. So it's a very user-friendly thing that you don't have to go in and manually do it. You can just download the update online.
Hey guys, so that was a look from TGS really quick, and I want to move on because this is definitely a game that I'm excited for. I know it might. You all know what I like. I have the weirdest taste in games. I like the shooters, and now I really like Help Wanted too. So I've got Morgan here.
What's up?
And he's going to tell us about Help Wanted, show it off a little bit, and why does it have 3 different names?
Why the first question, huh? Okay, all right.
First question.
Well, it's got 3 different names in 3 different territories, North America, Japan, and Europe. Basically, everyone has their own team that they decide what name is going to be the best for their group. It's kind of funny, really. Europe it seems like they're going for their own line of our games. Our previous title, Deck of Sports, is called Sports Island. So they're calling this one a Job Island.
So they're going for the island thing.
They're going, yeah, keep it tropical. Whatever
grass
you
skirts,
yeah, but basically, it's just up to their own teams to decide what's going to work. Unfortunately, I couldn't really provide more than that.
All right, well,
sorry.
Let's start playing. So, okay. We've seen a couple different jobs have come out here. This is kind of our select screen.
Yeah. Basically, you've got the campaign mode. You've got you've got the campaign mode. You've got the multiplayer mode. You've got the career fair mode. The whole plot line centers around a huge meteor coming down, impending doom. These kids, they're going to save the world through getting jobs.
We're going to save the world by milking cows.
I mean, who wouldn't, right? That's what I would think.
Always.
Right. So we're going to go to just basically the general job selection screen. I'm going to show you guys a few of the jobs. Pick
guys,
a character.
girls, young, old.
Why not? And basically, you can see the whole game really has like a really quirky, kind of theme to it. Basically, every one of these jobs is just going to be the most random thing that you've ever heard of, but they're going to be super fun. So we can start off like, what game do you want to, which one of these do you want to see?
Let's try one that I want to do. Let's do the firefighter.
You want to do the firefighter?
I haven't seen the firefighter
Okay.
yet.
So basically, each game has its own unique controls. They're not going to be too terribly hard to learn, but it's still going to have its own mechanics so that you're not going to be able to master it right off the bat.
Okay.
So essentially, you're going to go in here. You're going to firefight. Now the whole thing just has a really quirky interface to it. It doesn't, the game is basically the most random thing that you'll ever come across, but in a really fun way.
So we're supposed to put the fires out and not shoot our little fireman buddies that are getting in the way because they're...
I'm just really good at this, but I should shoot more firefighters to kind of illustrate the challenge that the game gives. So if you spray that guy, it's like, oh no, I can't spray that fire anymore. So yeah, essentially you want to make sure that, oh sorry guy, you want to make sure that you're keeping on target because you are timed. If you don't put out the fires in the right amount of time, then you're going to lose the job, and then the meteor is going to strike the Earth, and then you're going to die. Why would you want that?
Yeah, for each fire you put out, you're getting a set amount of money.
Exactly, yeah, and that's a good point.
You're getting firemen again.
I'm sorry, it's kind of a habit. But basically, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is you want to be able to accrue as much money as you can to buy these items to destroy the meteor that's going to come to Earth. So, not a very typical way to approach saving the world, but that's how we do it at Hudson.
There's nothing wrong with new takes on things. Nothing at all.
Exactly.
Okay, so you made a paycheck, so you almost got a perfect score because you almost made your $80 here.
I pretty much almost did. I mean, when's the last time you made $71 in, I don't know, 2 minutes?
Hitting firemen with water?
I would love to do
I usually get arrested when I do that, but that's another story.
$79?
It's like 71, yeah.
That's pretty good.
I know. That's why I'm playing it, because I'm so good.
What do you want to see, Brian?
I want to see sumo referee.
Okay. So the whole concept around this, and of course, you've got, the control scheme will be mapped out for you if you so choose to.
So let's talk about the controls on this one. Like, what are we going to be doing?
I'm basically going to be waving around the fan, trying to stir up the crowd, and also trying to avoid the sumo wrestlers. So
how are you doing this though on the Wiimote? You're just waving the Wiimote?
I'm just giving it a good shake. Why not? And so these guys, you don't want to avoid them, otherwise they'll boot you right out, and that's what I did. So I kind of lost that one, but I still completed the job and still got paid a little bit.
You made $1.93.
Woo!
Why not? But
he's rolling deep.
The whole thing with this game is it's also got as well as the whole random job concept, you've also got multiplayer going on as well. So
Okay, we're gonna milk the cow.
Okay, so basically the whole thing, most of the jobs are available in multiplayer. Are you synced in there? Yeah, you are. Okay, cool. So pick whatever character you want.
I'm gonna be the chick, of course.
I'm going with Gramps.
Gramps had better not kick my butt at milking the cow, or
Well,
we'll have issues.
he might do something, but let's
so
see
what?
here.
So Gramps has like a special cow milking like super move or something here?
I don't know. I mean, he's been around longer, and
He's been around longer.
I could make generalizations, but I'm not going to do that.
Kristen, that kind of looks like you. on the right.
Yeah, screaming with her mouth open. That's
Yeah.
usually me.
Never before have you milked a cow so realistically on the Wii. You're going to do it right now.
And he has a light bulb in the back of his head.
Right. that's
So here
fine.
we're just gonna hold down like
Right, you're going to hold down the
Z&D,
triggers, and then you're just going to get
and we're
some
just
milking.
literally
like,
gonna try to
Yeah.
not make
And-
our cows angry.
Right. I mean, mine's getting kind of pissed already.
Yeah, I'm not doing so hot either.
It's okay. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
see?
both of our cows are mad at us right
This
now.
is what happens.
He's
But
dead, no.
the whole thing with this is, of course, in multiplayer, it's going to come down to, pretty much fractions of,
Sense.
and really just get into it. Don't hold back.
Kristen, I think you're slapping the udder.
But then my cow ran
Yeah,
away.
but look, I have
need
more
to
money than
pull
he
the
does, and
other
I
nuts.
won. Again, I'm the best cow milker
You
on
are.
the face of the earth.
You are.
$35.
Oh, there
What?
goes your cow, though. Whatever, you could have
Well,
won
I
your cow.
still had like a whole like cow milking thing longer than you did.
It's all good. So you see the overall concept. You've got a bunch of different jobs that you can pick from. In these trying economic times where people are, maybe they don't have jobs. You can sample a few. Okay, I'm being really facetious right now, but yeah, it's fun time.
Definitely gonna give you a realistic experience here for jobs.
Sure. But
Okay.
seriously though, I mean, for folks who, maybe the game doesn't appeal to them. If you've got, little brothers, little sisters, moms, dads, they're going to really be able to get into this. They're going to be able to just really pick it up and play. And honestly, a lot of the fundamentals in these controls are going to help them graduate to the next level of games, whatever they want to get to. But I think the hardcore
We're gonna be
audience.
plucking chickens next. Let's play another game.
Yeah,
and
let's
while
do
we're
it.
doing that, we're gonna take some questions from Brian from the audience.
Yeah. Stephen Cash from Brooklyn wants to know, can you create characters from scratch, maybe using your Mii or something like that?
Usually Hudson titles, in the most recent titles, we've been integrating Mii gameplay. But for the most part in this one, not so much. You're going to have a few characters that you can select from in the multiplayer. However, there's not going to be any Mii integration or anything like that.
So this one we have to change our color.
Right.
And scare these little dudes that come in the house
Yeah.
and make like $8.
Exactly. So, and you want to
Oh
make
my
sure
God,
you want to make sure that the color you get out corresponds with the color of the room. Again, like really simple pick up and play. Some of the games are going to be more challenging than others, but for the most part, this one, it's just up to you to make sure
Scare people.
that you've got the right colors. You can adjust the difficulty level in the campaign as well to get a little bit extra challenge, so that you might find a little bit more robust kind of challenges for you.
I'm scared all my dudes way too early.
Yeah, and that's a problem. You don't want to. You don't want to.
Oh, that one's cooking.
Ruin this surprise.
Yeah, you don't want to let them know that they're coming.
No. The general concept of the haunted house.
I've got a question from Fareed's in Singapore who wants to know, how many jobs are there altogether in this game?
There's going to be about 50 jobs altogether. Of course, they're not going to come all immediately unlocked. You got to earn them through the campaign mode. It's kind of interesting, the campaign mode, how you get new jobs is you've got to actually use the money that you earn to buy new uniforms for each job that they correspond to. So, but essentially, to answer the question, it's 50 jobs. And I super won, so.
Okay, we're even now.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so when is Help Wanted coming out, and what is it coming out on?
We don't have an exact cemented date in there, but it's looking like it's going to be towards the middle of 09.
Okay.
As far as the platforms that it's going to be out on, it's just Wii. So obviously all the controls are going to be taking advantage of the Wii controls. It just wouldn't be the same without it.
You're right, it definitely wouldn't, especially milking the cow, because that's very realistic. Actually, I've milked cows before, and it's
fun?
general.
Sure.
Milking a real cow is really frustrating until you figure it out.
Yeah, think about the cow.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Okay, that's it. Okay, we're gonna, you know what? So we held a contest, and we're actually still voting for this contest, where we asked you guys what you were thankful for in gaming. And we've taken some of those user videos, and like I said, the voting on these videos is still open. So the couple videos that we're going to show you are some of the ones that have caught our eye. You know, no winners are, we're not showing winners yet. These are just ones that we really liked. So let's go ahead and check out some of these contestant videos, and if you guys want to vote for them or other ones or view them all, they're in our tournaments and contests section on the webpage. So let's go ahead and check it out.
This year, I'm thankful for Final Fantasy. From its pixelated beginnings on the NES to its vast 3D environments on the PlayStation 2 and soon-to-be Xbox 360. From its wonderful heroes and menacing villains to its enthralling storylines of love and loss. This series captures our hearts, enchants our minds, and kicks us in the wallet time and time again.
Hey, this is Jules5 back from GameSpot. Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii is one of the biggest games in Nintendo history. With a roster of 35 characters including imports such as Solid Snake and Sonic the Hedgehog, a story mode, more than 500 trophies, 41 stages to fight on, online multiplayer, tons of Pokemon, and custom stages, Brawl's unique gameplay and ability to play as whoever you wish makes Brawl my favorite pick and the game I am thankful for this Thanksgiving. Thank you GameSpot, and I look forward to your vote.
I'm here to give thanks to Final Fantasy VII because it made me see the emotional and artistic power that video games could have. I was 9 years old when FF7 came out, and like many other gamers, I had never played an emotionally complex game up to that point. The powerful characters and mesmerizing story kept me compelled, while the tragic death of Eris created emotions that I had never felt by playing a video game. Final Fantasy VII made me see that video games could be both fun and meaningful, and also made me want to create video games myself.
As we all know, it's a statistical impossibility that zombies won't roam the earth at some stage in the future. Left 4 Dead helps me prepare. You know, people play Rock Band to learn how to hit instruments. People play World of Warcraft to learn how to be a fat dwarf. I play Left 4 Dead to prepare for the future. Are you a witch? Oh man, just leave me here.
Thanks for all those awesome entries. Danny's, yours was really good. Yours were all really good, but thanks, and we'll be voting. I guess voting on those continues, so thanks for all those entries. Those were great. Right now we're joined by Shankar Srinivasan and Tom Magrino, who told me he's never been on the show before. How is that even possible?
I don't know. I've been on the show goofing off in the background, but never actually on this couch.
Well, Tom is a news guy, so he writes some of the news stories that you read.
All the news.
All the news.
No.
He makes up half the news stories he writes. And Shankar's here, and so we want to talk a little bit about what we did on our break last week. And apparently you guys just cheated rampantly.
Not entirely cheated.
No, I was mostly.
Wait. How do you kind of cheat, guys?
Yeah, there's
how do you not really?
Well, let's set this up. We're talking about Warhammer, right?
We're talking about Warhammer. Both of us initially rolled destruction characters, and we got them to high levels, and we're like, you know, we're always dying, and the person who is always killing us are witch hunters.
Why is that?
Because they are ridiculously cheap.
I don't know if I was always dying. I was pretty good at destruction.
I don't know.
No, you were always dying.
All right, so you guys decided to become the problem.
So yes, we decided to create our own witch hunters and form a hit squad to just wreak havoc and melt face.
Basically a witch hunter goon squad.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And Shankar, you were telling me that they're already extremely powerful characters, but you can even cheese them further.
Well, yeah, and so what we discovered, and what a lot of the forum guys have discovered, if you go to various forums, you'll see that they're using this ability called absolution, and they're using it over and over again. So essentially all you're doing is you're using an anytime ability, and absolution gonna assume the audience knows World of Warcraft. It's basically like hitting a rogue hitting Sinister Strike and then using Eviscerate constantly, and that's all they're doing.
And instant cast too, right?
Instant cast, and it's got no cooldown.
I think we have some footage.
Yeah.
Do we have some footage that we can run?
Should I explain what happened?
Yeah, here we go.
So,
This is you, Tom.
So this is me earlier today. I feel like I should add a caveat that there are probably people who do this better than I did. But this will kind of give you
This is in
an
a
idea.
scenario. So you're basically, you're matched up in like a 12-on-12 against the other team here.
Right.
And now, you're basically, all you're doing is, well, you're killing that dude.
That guy died.
So that's one.
That's one. So I'm on this Marauder now, along with a bunch of other people. He's clearly taken care of. I'm going to go find some
you
easy
find
bait.
a soft target here. Here you go.
Found a Zealot. This is a healer. We're going to wreck this guy's day
So
up.
killing zealots is not that hard. They're basically...
Well, they can heal themselves, which is the problem. So you have to be able to unload massive amounts of damage. And I've got another Witch Hunter friend here with me.
And so now the opposition's coming in.
So he goes down. Yeah, this is the new class that they introduced, the Blackguard. And he is not going to stand much of a chance, especially with 4 guys.
Yeah, there's 3 guys on him.
He's being ganged up on.
Yeah. So then, yeah, it basically just continues like this, where you can just wreck people's days up using just these 2 skills, plus the snare, which was the snapshot there.
2 things as you guys were recording this footage. A, Shanker, you couldn't do this.
No, hold on. Hold on. It's because I wasn't.
B, it doesn't matter that these guys are really overpowered characters. They still look like pilgrims.
I prefer Van Helsing.
It's a Van Helsing look.
Van Helsing look.
They've got the top hat.
They look like they should be shooting turkeys.
I wasn't cheating like Magrino here. Magrino's showing some pretty good cheese here. But yeah, anybody that has not played a stealth character in one of these games, it's supremely fun to just wreck somebody's stuff. I mean, there's even like a 2-second delay, okay, after you open up on them. And that delay, there's nothing that's as pleasing as that. Maybe turkey on Thanksgiving, but other than that, oh my God, just to see how they freak out, oh my God.
We get all jittery.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants to do this, how do they get into it? How do they take advantage of this technique? Obviously, first step is create a Witch Hunter.
Witch Hunter.
Yes. Witch Hunter. I mean, all of these skills you gain through the course of leveling. So basically, like the thing about this cheesy tactic is it's not immediately obvious because the Absolution skill has 5 ranks, and with each rank you're doing successively more damage. But you really don't need all that damage because it does enough when you're swapping back and forth between the 2.
Right.
Right. Plus you have other skills to kind of complement it.
It's very cheesy.
So how long before Witch Hunter's nerfed?
Well, I think they're gonna. The thing is, the recent patch actually made it stronger because now bullets are even better.
Kind of aggravated the issue.
Bullets are even better, but I'm sure they'll eventually take it. I don't see how this even fits in with.
Well, yeah. Well, the weird thing is, like, classes seem to be most classes are becoming more powerful. So I guess it's like an arms race to see. Okay, we're gonna make them all just like crazy powerful.
Yeah, one shot kills everyone.
Right.
It'll become a test of reflexes, and that's it. Well, Tom Shanker, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We're going to go over to the standing set where Kristen is standing by with Kevin Van Ord to find out what he did on his Thanksgiving break as well.
Kevin played with bears.
I did, actually. I did play some Lego Indie, but that's too lighthearted. I thought
There were no bears. There was only elephants.
So I thought instead I'd show you the other game I played this weekend, which is Condemned 2. Obviously a game I've already played this year, but I like it so much that I just thought I'd go back and revisit some of my favorite sequences. And by far, my favorite sequence in Condemned 2 is this bear chase through a lodge. Yeah, so this is what I did. I thought hopefully I won't die because this is actually the first time you play. It's kind of a trial and error kind of sequence.
Oh, great!
So hopefully I won't die and I'll be able to get through it.
So we're gonna get mauled by bears now.
Although it looks really cool when you get mauled. So I'll go ahead and start.
How does getting mauled by a bear look really cool? You're dying.
Okay, here he goes.
That's a big bear. It looks like a buffalo, kind of.
I gotta run.
You're running really well. Run! Oh, so it's kind of like a maze where you've got to like hope you remember the right way out, and you think you're totally in the closet.
Yeah. So now you get stuck, and you're like, where do I go? And the bear's not making things easy for you.
What's he licking?
Oh, dude, he's licking the wood.
He's licking his own spit.
Yeah, you see that drool?
Sick.
So now you're like, what do I do? The first time you play this is really intense. The sound design, the graphics make this all really incredible. So now you're like,
we're gonna keep running.
Get me out of here.
Go up, yeah, because you always want to run up if something is chasing you.
Yeah.
Because
he's coming after me.
The bear's breaking the stairs.
He's coming.
Oh, you're finally safe.
Yeah.
Not yet.
In the bathroom.
Oh,
Dude, that
God.
bear's right on your
He's
back.
right on my tail. I can't see because of this
Hey,
TV.
look, there's a mirror. That's
I
us.
can't see on this TV. This is funny because on this TV I can't see anything.
Doug, yeah. Hey, Frank, would you be able to help us with the contrast
There
really
we
quick?
go.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
I got it. All right, so now
Now we're
gotta
gonna go
get
hide in
through
the
here.
closet.
No, we gotta
Hiding
run.
in the closet's a great idea.
We
because we
run
already went
more.
upstairs, so now let's just hide and cower in the corner because nothing ever comes at you when you do that.
Now, hopefully this part's kind of tricky. Got him. There we go. Move it over. Now there's a dude down here.
Is he dead?
What the fuck are you guys doing up here?
Oh, he
language
said a
warning.
naughty word.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And finally,
We have a gun. Come on, Bear.
I have one shot and one chance to save myself.
Shoot it in the eyes.
Here it comes.
I can't.
Why can't you shoot it in the eyes? That's
Yeah.
completely
Oh, you got him.
legitimate. You blew yourself
And
up.
boom.
Is that it?
Boom. We are blown up. That is the infamous Condemned 2 bear chase. And now I awaken nowhere near where I started, I'd like to point out, but I
The
can't
bear-
explain why because
The bear felt like, moving you.
I don't want to spoil anything, and honestly, it makes very little sense anyway. So
It is Condemned 2.
So we've got bears chasing us. We have random teleportation and exploding guns.
That's Condemned 2 for you.
Okay.
Great game. Play it. I hate missing out on the early games in the year. Like we did our Game of the Year award talks and stuff. Don't forget all these games back at the beginning.
Bears.
So
bears,
this is one
bears.
of those games. So
Kevin is our house bear. What is he? What do you call advocate? He's the bear advocate.
there you go.
He just killed one.
All right, let's go, Brian. Save me from the bears.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I leveled my Death Knight. I played WoW all weekend. And it's pretty sad because I was going to play Left 4 Dead and I was going to play Gears of War 2. But no, I just leveled my Death Knight in WoW because I'm sad that way. Kristen, you're on the couch now. It's amazing.
I don't know how that could have happened.
Incredible. What a transition. How are you?
I'm a little sweaty from the run.
It's the bear chase.
It's the bear chase. It's
Yeah.
the bear, the bears with all the drool. I was kind of like, ah.
It was quite frightening. That bear was
Yeah.
nasty. That bear had bad
It
hygiene.
looked like a buffalo.
Yeah, well,
Have you ever seen a buffalo? The way it came in, it was all like hunchy back and then
Yeah.
little butt.
yeah.
That's what buffalo looks like.
But what's more
Bears are
thrilling,
poofy.
a buffalo chase or a bear chase?
You ever been chased by buffalo?
That's true. I never have.
Yeah, they are fast and they are mean.
All right.
You don't be chased by buffalo.
Well, we're winding down to the end of the show. Before we do, before we wind up for good, let's check out the calendar.
All right. See what we got
what's
coming
going
up.
on.
We have lots and lots.
Another episode of From the Bleachers on Monday. Game night is Tuesday, and we're going to be playing Tom Clancy's End War Game Night. Lots of talking on that night.
There's going to be,
You'll
so
just be chatting
it's going to be chatting, it's going to be smack talking, and it's going to be commands.
and commands.
That's gonna be a lot
in
of
that
talking.
order. And the Hotspot, of course, on Tuesday. That's our weekly general gaming podcast.
Awesome. Then what, next Thursday we're back here on the Spot.
Awesome. We only have a couple more shows left in the year.
I
should
think
point that
exactly
out.
a couple, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a regular show next week, and then the following week, I believe, is
What,
going to be
best
like a
of?
best of
I
2008.
think you're right.
So, but that show's going to be awesome. It's going to have some really great
It's
moments.
going to be really good. 'Cause
And-
I mean, a lot of it is our viewers that are going into the forums and voting on what they want to see.
That's right. In fact, I think Tracy, our producer, has created a forum thread, or will soon, letting you vote on what segments you want to see in the best of show. So
GameSpot Live Union.
be sure you check that out.
Yep.
We have nominees from users, and we're going to be voting on that soon. Lineup, episode 8, season ending, will be Friday on December 12th. And the best of 2008. That's our big Game of the Year awards. We showed it behind the scenes from that earlier in the show. Friday, December 19th, the nominees are revealed, and all Christmas week, winners.
That's going to be,
awesome.
it's going to be so good.
Yeah, like we said earlier, we worked long and hard.
Oh yeah,
this
there's
was
a
not
lot
an
of really
easy
good
year.
stuff coming out of that.
So many good games this year. It was tough to pick a winner. Anyway, that's on the spot. Kristen, thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming too.
I appreciate it. We will see you guys next week on the spot.